YouTube, my name is Lemon. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good day, and if not, well, I hope it gets better for you. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about something really super random, but I've been thinking about it for a while, and that is names. Where did they come from? Where did they go? Why are they here? Why is your name Cotton Eye Joe? What is in a name? Most of us are familiar with Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, the tragedy of two lovers who were never meant to be, and miscommunication all over the place. But one of Juliet's most well-known verses is when she's on her balcony and screaming out into the universe, "Romeo, oh Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo?" And then she goes on to say, "A rose by any other name would still smell as sweet." So Juliet brings up an interesting point. Just because a rose is named a rose doesn't mean that if we stopped calling it a rose that it would smell any different than what a rose already smells like. Does that make sense? Why are names so important then? What's the purpose of having a name if it doesn't really matter because you'd be the same person anyway? Well, that's what I kind of want to talk about today because I think it's kind of interesting. And I'm also going to try and use this as an opportunity to introduce myself, because I'm going to talk about what I think my name means and the different names that I've come to associate myself with. So most people are given a name by their parents or their family, depending on your culture, within a few days of being born. This name that you are given is a really important social contract that you're making with the world. By this name, you are an individual. People can call you by this name and categorize the things you do by your name. So let's say y'all are doing a group project and group projects suck, but you're all doing a group project with Ted and Susie and Bill and Lily. And Ted is in charge of the PowerPoint, and Sue is in charge of collecting research data for topic 1, and Bill is in charge of topic 2, and Lily is in charge of bringing cookies for the class so that they can get an A. You get to assign those, and by the group, if the group is metaphorically society, you each are given a task. It's not Lily did the whole project by herself because her job was to make cookies. It's no, Lily got to make cookies, and Bill got to do his, and Sue got to do his, and Joe got to do his. And so it's an important way for us to be able to identify what not only we've done, but what others around us have done. Having a name gives us a sense of identity in a world of billions of people. Ultimately, these names are what we will carry for the rest of our lives. Even if you get a name change, like you get married, or you don't like your middle name, or you want your middle name to be your first name, someone is always going to recognize you as the name you were given when you were born, and it's probably going to be a grandma or a great aunt or something. So this kind of leads into like nicknames, because people and organizations and objects often have nicknames or slang terms that go with them, and these are names too. A nickname is can be a shortened form of a name you already have, or it can be a characteristic attribute that you yourself have, or an embarrassing name off of something embarrassing that you've done before. As I'm trying to narrow this down into what it could be, like people have done research on how names affect children. They've done research about like if pretty or ugly names children get like better or worse grades in school and are more self-confident, get better paying jobs in the future. It's crazy. Names are really important. Names are really important to some people. It links you to who society views you as, and all of these different things. Like, do we understand the names that we have ourselves? And do we understand the weight of those names in ourselves? Ever heard someone say, don't disgrace your family name, because the name means something and you don't want to mess it up. That's sometimes the way I feel as a person, and like, I don't have a family name that needs besmirching or unbesmirching. I'm just a regular individual trying to make sure that I don't screw up my life too badly before I need someone to come save my namesake. In another respect, sometimes you have to work for a name. Think about it. mom, boss, leader, team player, kindest person I know. Those are all names. Those are all things that they have to be worked for too. Are we willing to work for these names? Am I willing to work for some of the names that I have / want? And in some cases I am, and in some cases I'd rather be playing games on my phone. Another thing to consider is, like, by giving something a name, you've categorized it. You've made that social contract that this is what I'm calling object, individual, thing, and the freedom that comes with that. In a very real sense, sometimes being able to give a name to something, like a fear, like you're finally able to identify what it is you're afraid of and put a name to it, or what's causing your anxieties, or you finally pinpoint that person that's making your life better and you can name them, or making your life worse. It goes both ways. The freedom in being able to have a name, to name something, being responsible for a name, having the weight of a name. Names are really important. It's just really fascinating that we all have names. So what does your name mean? My YouTube name is Lifelightslemon, and I did that, one, because it sounds freaking adorable and I loved it, and two, because of what I want this channel to be about. I want this channel to be about when life gives you lemons, you make freaking delicious lemonade. You pass it out in the neighborhood, making sure everyone else gets freaking delicious lemonade. And so to me, it's important that that gets across. And so Lifelightslemon is a fairly appropriate name, or I thought it was a fairly appropriate name for what I'm trying to do in my life. But questions for you. What name are you called? What names are you trying to be called? Are you trying to be a doctor or a friend or a mom, dad? Are you trying to be manager? All of those names are names that you can have if you want them, or names that you already have that you need to uphold and respect. You even need to respect the names that other people have, you know? On the flip side, do any of the names you have or are known by hurting you? Like, I'm not going to give any examples of that because, quite frankly, I'm not really sure, and I think that one is a little more personalized to what names are negative as to which ones are positive. But I mean, it's a good question to ask. Is your name a positive thing in your life or a negative thing? Do people get excited or upset? Are you okay that they're upset or excited? It's all up to you, and it's something that I think we all need to take a little look at is, who am I? What do I stand for? And what do people think when they think of me? I kind of feel like I'm rambling and that maybe people don't really think that this is important at all. But it's something that interests me, and it's something that I think we need to look at sometimes. Because names are really important when push comes to shove. When we hear a person's name, we have a reaction to what that person says and does and their past actions. And so being able to recognize that in ourselves and knowing what our name means to us and those around us can really impact our lives in different ways that we may or may not realize. I think it's about time that I talked about some of my names and introduced myself to you. One of the names I am working towards right now is music therapist. I have gone to a lot of college, paid a lot of tuition, am trying to take a test, have done an internship, so that I can have, at the end of my name, board-certified music therapist, and people will be able to trust me and I'll be able to go help people. One of my other names is daughter. My mom and dad wanted a family and I was their first. I am their first daughter. I try to live up to that the best I can in the best way I know how. Sometimes I'm good at it, sometimes I'm not so good at it, but you know, it just depends on the day. While we're on the topic of family, I'm also a sister to 3 other siblings. Another one of my names is wife. I adore my husband with everything I have, and I try to be an equal partner in our relationship. Try and talk openly with him. I talked a little bit about Lifelightslemon and what that means, and it's my way of trying to put something positive back into the world. One of the names that I would like one day is Mom. I want to have a family and I want to have kids who grow up to be awesome people, who come back to me and call me mom. That's something that one day I will work towards. Finally, me. A culmination of all of those names and all of those different categories, all of those contracts with society that I've made by being called each and every one of those names is me. That's who I am. I am a strong, independent woman who's trying to do the best she can, who's gone to school to get an education so that I can help other people, who's trying to be kind, trying to be a good sibling, trying to be a good daughter, doing my best to be a good, decent wife, and striving every day to be a better me. But I'll pose the question to you, by what names are you called? And what names would you like to be called? Comment below, talk about it. If it's interesting, if it's not, then just keep on moving, get out of here. Well, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Please feel free to come back. I've got lots more planned. We're going to be doing lots of stuff. Also, if you'd like to follow on Twitter, Pinterest, or Instagram, Lifelightslemon, just how it sounds. Don't forget to make today ridiculously amazing, and oh, be wise, what more can I say? Till next time, bye!